So today we're going to be talking about the Nexus 6P and why I like it over the new Google Pixel 2 and why you should actually pick this up over the Google Pixel 2. I know it's been a while since I've actually put out an actual tech video or a review, because everything seems to be parodies. By the way, if you haven't seen the new iPhone 9 parody, y'all should check that out. I'll have the link in the description. It's hilarious. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about the new, well, not new, but the Nexus 6P, the last of the Nexus smartphones. I'm mainly doing this for comparison to the new Google Pixel 2 and explaining why would you even buy the Google Pixel 2 if this is doing so much better. So we're gonna start off with the hardware. So the Google Pixel 2 and the Nexus 6P both have front-facing speakers. They both have, I think, a 6-inch Quad HD display. Well, this one's a little bit smaller, but they're still both Quad HD. This is a Samsung-made panel OLED. So, I mean, so far, same, you know what I mean? Aluminum body on the back and around the side, so you're gonna get that premium feel on both of them. The only difference is one has a G on the bottom, the other one has the Nexus logo. And what is really killer to me is this one actually has a headphone jack, and the new Google Pixel does not. Now, there are a few things that the Google Pixel XL 2 has that this one doesn't, and that's like waterproofing and the squeeze to, unlock Google or whatever. But in all honesty, the only things that the new Pixel have over this one are gimmicks and maybe a brighter display. I'm just gonna go ahead and explain to you guys the specs of the Google Pixel 2. 6-inch Quad HD display, 12 megapixel camera, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 3,520 milliamp hour battery, OLED display of course, Android Oreo, Qualcomm Snapdragon 835, octa-core CPU, Adreno 540, and no SD card slots, nothing new. Video at 2160p at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 30, 60, or 120 frames per second. So you get slow-mo on the new Google Pixel 2 with a higher pixel density. The specs seem familiar. No non-removable battery, comes in just black and white. What? Here's the specs for the Nexus 6P. Man, I'm getting these confused right now because they're so much alike. Okay, so Nexus 6P, 5.7-inch display, 1440 by 2560. Same display pretty much. 12 megapixel camera, 3 gigabytes of RAM, 3,450 milliamp hour battery. These are near the same specs, minus 1 gigabyte of RAM. This is a 12 megapixel camera, so this is probably the same one seen in the Pixel, the original Pixel. And honestly, here's some photos just to show you how good this does with also the blur mode. It's not meant for the blur mode, but this thing actually does it really well, which is making me wonder, what does the Pixel 2 XL have that this one doesn't, other than a few gimmicks and, waterproofing and, well, water resistance, Let's see, let's read all of the specs. So this one has an AMOLED display, of course, 2560 by 1440, 16:9 ratio. Android, it says Android 6, but it's at Android 8 Oreo right now. Snapdragon 810, octa-core, Adreno 430. So everything, of course, this is 2015 specs, but I've been using it for a couple days now and it feels like a brand new phone. I'm recording this on the Galaxy S7 Edge and I have a Galaxy S8 over there, so I know what a 2018, 2017 phone is supposed to feel like, and this is not slagging or lacking at all. It's doing really good. The only thing it doesn't have, is a micro SD card and all that. What confuses me is what Google did inside of their commercial. Now, I know a lot of you guys know about this, but some people don't realize Google doesn't make sense at this point, and I'm really just trying to figure out what the new Pixel line is supposed to be doing. I'm guessing it's competing with Apple, but now it's just kind of becoming Apple products. Does that make sense? The last Google Pixel, they had in the commercial making fun of the fact that Apple didn't have a headphone jack. It showed in the commercial slightly, it said, happily or something like that, a headphone jack. It was like, thank God we actually have a headphone jack, you guys don't. Basically, they were spitting on Apple, showing them, hey, look, we have a headphone jack still, and we have a brand new phone that looks kind of exactly like the iPhone without a home button. Of course, it still had some of the assets the iPhone had, like bottom-facing speakers and all that stuff, and it was like you know, it wasn't really a great phone, but it wasn't a terrible phone. It was stock Android, Pixel theme over it, but it was stock Android. It was the way Google wanted it, and it was nice. But the Google Pixel 2, I was so happy when they said it had front-facing speakers and all these other things, but then they took away the headphone jack. And honestly, this phone is like the phone that was almost perfect. Does that make sense? Because that's what made it terrible. You don't put high quality specs, all these amazing things, and then get rid of the headphone jack like that wasn't needed. For a lot of other Android users and a lot of other people, they're fine without the headphone jack, you know. But for Google to make fun of the fact that they didn't have one, you know, make fun of any other company that didn't have one and then not put one in the new one, that doesn't make any sense to me. I use a Rode VideoMic Pro and a Beast Grip to make my videos, and that uses a headphone jack. I also like to charge while I'm recording. Recording takes out a lot of battery, so it's very useful to have this and this. Of course, this layout I'm not a fan of. I like for both of them to be on the bottom. But this phone, I'm just gonna say essentially is the Nexus, well, the Pixel 2 should have been, but with upgraded specs. Maybe one day they'll make this again and call it, you know, the Nexus 6 SE, you know, like how they did with the iPhone 5. Maybe they'll do something like that along those lines, bring back one more Nexus for the fans or something. I don't know, but honestly, this new Pixel fell short to me, and Google contradicted itself a lot. They even came out with some wireless headphones and all that. The only thing I was really happy about was the new Google laptop. I'll be getting that later this year. But anyways, I did not want to make this video too long. I just wanted to tell you guys how the Nexus, the Google Pixel 2 doesn't really make sense. And this phone is still really good for 2017, 2018. I've been using it for, it's been about 4 days now. I know that's not a long time. I will be making a full review, but this was just me telling you, should you still buy the Nexus 6P in 2017, 2018? Definitely you should. This thing's got a good camera. It's got front-facing speakers. It's really nice. Anyways, guys, I'm talking a bit too much. If you want to see some of the photos that I took of with the Nexus, you can check my Instagram. This is the latest one. It's such a nice photo. The blur in the background is so cool. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and end this. Follow me on, you know, this Instagram. Follow me on my tech Instagram and on my regular Instagram for modeling and stuff like that. That's my modeling Instagram. Also, I have vlogs that I've been putting out lately. I'll put that in the description and at the end of the video. I'm gonna go ahead and go, guys. Check out the Nexus 6P. Peace out.